Hey, so welcome to this review of the Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage figure. This is currently available on Hasbro Pulse, last I checked, for the price of $40. You might be saying, hey, that's a lot for this figure, but he is a big figure. In fact, I have the first movie Venom here, and if I stand him next to Carnage, you can see there is a pretty big size difference. He is taller, and he has a number of accessories that I think bumped him up to this price point. I think it might be a little excessive. Carnage just happens to be one of my favorite Marvel Legends characters, or Marvel characters, which is why I bought this figure. So we're going to take Venom out of here for a moment. We'll probably bring him in a few more times, but just to go over this character's kind of look, you can see the really cool, like, red and black swirled symbiote all over this figure. It does look really cool, going all the way down his body, even onto his feet, on the arms, on the hands. And there is a lot of detail on the back in terms of sculpt. The arms and legs still have some nice paintwork, but there seems to be a lot missing on the back. Now, you will notice these 3 holes. We'll talk about them a little bit. But really on his back, that seems to be the only little bit of paint here on his neck and the upper back. I have my reasons for that. I think it has a lot to do with the extra accessories that plug into his back. And also, really, are you ever really looking at your action figure from the back like this? But it does look really neat. Now, this was kind of the stock configuration for this Carnage. There are accessories we'll go through in a little bit. But just in terms of articulation, his head is on a really nice ball joint that allows him to look up and down, and of course twist all around, so you can get some good movement out of that. And this head looks friggin' creepy. I do dig it. In terms of the body itself, the only swivel is up here at the diaphragm, but there is also movement there, and then some deep bend there at the stomach. So you can really bend him forward and back and put him in some kind of creepy type of poses, In terms of the arms, they go all the way around. They go out that much. There is rotation right there as well. Double jointed elbow. It is pinless. And at the hands, let's bring this down so you can see, they do rotate, and these particular hands do swivel in and out, at least the hands that are on him now. And that is the same on this arm as well. The legs will kick up that much, kick back about there, not a lot. They do kick out, full rotation here at the thigh, and even like the symbiote bits don't really get in the way of the rotation. It does break up the paintwork, but that's kind of to be expected. Double jointed knee, so you get some deep bend on there. And at the foot, no boot cut, but down here at the foot does articulate back and forward. And it is actually a little tough to get, but nicely detailed like toes on there. Of course, there is some legalese on his foot, but there we go. Also, you get some nice pivot at the ankle. So he has some nice articulation, kind of what you would come to expect. I think we got to talk about the accessories next, because there's a lot of them. And the first accessory I'm going to talk about is the alternative head. And this is the extra head. It has, more, the eyes kind of squinty or a little angry because the mouth is open and there is a tongue. I know it had this in the movie, and to swap it off, it is just, of course, this is a dumbbell joint up here at the neck. I think I said a ball joint before. But you just pop it off the end of the dumbbell joint and pop this head on, like so. And, I know it had it in the movie. I don't like when people draw Carnage with, like, teeth and a tongue, because it feels like they just thought he really is just red Venom, and there's not a lot of design difference. I like Carnage just to kind of have this smiling face, but, this is definitely going to be my preferred head for the figure. That still looks pretty cool, though, and I will, like, deluxe him up in just a moment with all of his accessories. Another accessory that he has a different right hand, which has this really cool blade coming off of it. And nicely detailed, you have the black and red. The underside a little plain, but still, because of the sculpt work, it carries through a cool design. So in order to swap that out, you just pull the hand off, like that. And then you put this hand on, like this. And, you know, you can really curl this in. This looks really neat in my opinion. It does look kind of menacing, kind of just awesome. I really like that alternate weapon hand. The other alternate hand is this one, and it really could go on either the left or right hand, but if you have that bladed hand on his right hand, it's only going to go on the left. So I'll pop off the left hand, and I will pop this on, and it looks like this. This is a huge symbiote blade here on his hand, and it does rotate around, and it articulates up and down. Now, I don't love this one. In pictures, I thought I would, and you know, I kind of like Carnage to have symbiote weaponry, but this, it doesn't. The flowing from the wrist into the weapon, something about it is putting me off, and I don't love it that much. I don't think it looks natural, which I know the whole thing is unnatural, but the look just doesn't. It looks kind of just out of place, so I don't really love that hand. I'm gonna put everything on him, and then I'll show you my preferred kind of look for this Carnage when all is said and done. But you know, it looks okay. Now he also has these tentacles, and you did see those holes in the back of him. It does look like there are 5 tentacles here, but there are 3 sets of tentacles, 2 of which have double tentacles on them. So I'll stick one of the doubles on right now to start, and just to show you, it kind of has a. It almost looks like another hand reaching for it, as well as a blade. And they are on a bendy wire, so you can bend these up to your heart's content. And I'll just plug them in here into the back so you can see that. Oop, hang on. There we go. So you really just have to stick it in there. I don't really hear like a click or anything. You just kind of have to press them in. But that is one set of tentacles. We'll get the other double set of tentacles. And I don't think it necessarily matters where each set goes. This is just how I've been kind of displaying it. This set, again, has like another, just like symbiote pointer, you know, pointy blade, and a full-on blade coming out of it. So, I don't know, needles? I don't know what you call the bottom one. Fingers. There we go. And like I said, like you don't really hear a pop. They just kind of fit in, and that's that. And then there is this one with this cool kind of like mace sword weapon that I just stick in the back here. And again, like there's nothing saying that these have to go in any designated spot. This is just where I'm putting them. They will fit, at least when I've been playing with it, in any of the spots. So you have, let me move this arcade cabinet. You have a really tentacled up extreme Carnage here. It doesn't look bad. It is going to take up a lot of real estate on your shelf though, because the tentacles have some deep bend to it. Like, you know, I'm not able to really bend them right against its back, so they do come out. So you are going to need a lot of space behind him. You're going to need a lot of height, and then you're going to need a lot of space around him for all of these tentacles coming off the Carnage. It does look neat, and you know, if you put Venom next to him, there is definitely a David versus Goliath feel here. I know in the movie, of course, they kind of made it seem like Carnage was the more dangerous, the stronger of the two symbiotes, and this really does look like it. It is a cool looking figure. My preferred way to display this Carnage is actually not with the tentacles. I think that was a big part of the price for this figure, you know, was the tentacles, but I would have been happy buying a version that didn't have these tentacles and maybe cost $10 less. And like I said, I don't really love the bladed hand. I thought I was going to. So I'm not going to use that. I'll go back to just having a regular right hand. I will keep the bladed left hand on because I think that looks really cool with that. And I kind of like the other head better. So just to swap that, there we go. And yeah, this is kind of how I like this Carnage. I'll admit it is a little plain Jane in terms of, you know, what you can do with this figure, but this is how I think I'm going to put him on my display. My display that I have a movie Venom figure on isn't really full of action figures. It's actually one of my DVD shelves because I still buy physical media. And I just really want this Carnage to be able to fit alongside Venom. So now that I have Carnage kind of posed out the way I like it, I can kind of put Venom there as well. I'll pose out this Venom. And I know they just put a new Venom up on Target, I want to say, which is this Venom with like added tentacles. So, you know, you can get an updated Venom and have him with tentacles to fight Carnage. But there we go. Still a huge figure. Still looks really cool. And still something that I am ultimately very happy with. So there we go. I don't have a whole lot to say about this one that is negative. Like I said, some of the weapons I don't think are that great. The tentacles I think are a little much. But overall, he's pretty neat. Is he going to be figure of the year for me? Probably not. But he's one that I'm glad I picked up. So those are my thoughts on this new Venom 2 Let There Be Carnage figure. What do you think about this Carnage? I have another Carnage figure eventually coming this year that I might end up comparing with this one. Let me know if you would like to see a Which Is Better Carnage review. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've been pretty awesome. I'll see you around.
Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.